Hey there, this is Philip. Just got a kind of a funny, haha, not really funny story. You know, everybody talks about common sense. I'm gonna tell y'all, no such thing as common sense. There's common stupidity though, and it runs rampant among almost everybody. So I'm in a place you can see behind me. Kind of take a little look around. This is called All Veterans Park. It's part of a park system in the middle of Farmington, New Mexico. And I'll bring it around even more. So when you guys see the picture of the deer, this is always where I'm at. So there's a river, nice little mallard going by. And the park's pretty good size. So there's Burke Park, which is the furthest west. There's East Burke Park in the middle, and then All Veterans Park to the east. And at the far east end of All Veterans Park, there's a place that they do a lot of rafting, rapid running, for training purposes when we start getting a runoff, which this year we may not have. In this park, there's two bridges that go across the river. There's one down at East Burke Park. It's called Burke Bridge, goes over. And then there's one at the far end of Veterans Park called the Animas Bridge, which goes over. Now, across from me is a huge nature reserve. I mean, this whole thing is a nature reserve. Like I said, all the deer you see, typically not far from the park I'm sitting in right now, which is maybe 100 yards to my car. Well, because I got to walk around, get back up there, right? So, not that far, 50 yards maybe. And so if you go southeast of here, it's the city buildings. So the city main offices, the pound. So if you're ever in Farmington and you need some stress relief, they let people come and volunteer to walk dogs. Pretty cool. I've seen them through the park during the summer occasionally. But it's a pretty good little trail. Lots of families out. There's a family just down from me right now. I come here to walk because it's not far from the house. A few stoplights and I'm here. And even though it's really uneven, I like getting out and seeing things, seeing the deer, seeing the birds, seeing the turkeys if they're around. Yes, they're birds. And so forth. But today was interesting. Trying to make up some steps today because I've been off most this week. We were out of school, so I haven't been stepping, getting my walks in like I normally would. You know, normally I leave school with 3,000 to 4,000 steps. Pretty, not every day, but pretty close. So I was thinking, okay, I'm going to take a long walk. So I'm going a long way around now. On the south end, the nature preserve, there's areas towards the end of that reserve, which is about half. So about the western half of that they made like into campgrounds, probably for Boy Scouts a million years ago when they first started building this park out. It's really nice. It's a really good camping area if it wasn't so gosh darn dry. You can't do fires here. You do a fire, it would go up. To that point, on that side of the river in particular, some on this side, but mostly on that south side, they went in and did a bunch of fire remediation and removed a whole bunch of really bad non-native plants, things that eat up a lot of water and a lot of resources we don't need. Okay, this is still a desert. Yes, I know we're high, close to the mountains, but we're a desert. We don't need things that eat water. So now y'all have the layout, right? So I come through and I do my little route on the north side, and I come around Animas Bridge, and I'm coming back around. I have a little route that I take. And I can get anywhere from 3 to 4 miles, take the route I was taking. Just depends, you know, how much I zig in and out. And I come back, I'm on the back stretch to come back across the Burke Bridge. And it's a kind of a long trail. You come down along a ditch. For my friends who know what ditch riders are, it's like being a ditch rider almost. Really good road though, because they do bring heavy gear in. And you come down a little steep, slick, little hill, I mean like little, 7-8 feet maybe, road. And then you come across this huge camping area and you just take a left and boom, you're over the bridge in about 10 yards, 15 yards. So as I'm coming down the little hill, there are tables out there, you can picnic. And I see two women and a guy standing and a guy sitting, and I'm like, okay, you know, families out. It's not uncommon here, truthfully. Families are everywhere. You know, whether they're on bikes or they're jogging or whatever. Well, the two women split. I'm like, okay, well, something doesn't seem right, you know, just didn't seem right. So I come down, and the guy's on a phone, and the other guy looks like something's wrong with him. And about that time, the guy on the phone picks up a knife off the guy's lap. He has stabbed himself. Okay. The guy is on 911 trying to get help. Cool. I asked the guy, are you okay? Yeah, we're okay. So I walk down about the point where I have to make the the left turn again. It's not far, 15 yards maybe, to get up to the bridge and then go over the bridge. I'm like, nah, something's not right. So I turn around and go back. And I hear sirens all on this side of the bridge. So on the north side, we're on the south side. So we're in the far southwest corner of the park, basically. And everything up the north side. I'm like, oh, dummies. So I go back, tell the guy, tell him we're on the ditch side. Okay. He tells him, hey, we're on the ditch side. I hear it. I said, well, I'm going to go up, because when you go up to the east side of it, there's a huge area. You could have like concerts or whatever in. But you can, that's kind of where, if you're coming in from the city offices, that's you would have to come across. Only place trucks and stuff can come across. So I go up there, and there's a Farmington Police Department pickup truck. And I'm assuming he's either a sergeant or lieutenant. He's going the wrong way. He's driving out where you can see, because they just cleared it. You can see if there's somebody out there in distress. He goes the wrong way. So I walk up, I'm yelling. And two guys walking in, like, there's two more cops, and they point out and they say, hey, look, guy's yelling for you. So they come up. I said, down this road, take a right at the trash can with a brand new chain link fence. And literally, because it's where you have ditch control, there's a brand new chain link fence. It's probably, I hadn't seen it this whole week, so it must have been put in the last 2 days. And a trash can. That's how I focus on that trash can when I'm walking. When I hit the trash can, I know just take a right. So that's kind of my marker when I'm really stressing. Old age, right? So I get him down, get the ambulance. Well, pretty soon, here come the 3 cop cars passing me. Nobody in them but the units. That's weird. So I come down, the fire truck's not there. Well, that's weird. And I come down, and there's a place where it's like a creek, but it's probably just a ditch, but it's like a creek that comes down off the river, off the ditch to the river. Okay. Well, the fire truck's there. And as I see a bunch of guys in uniform walking back towards Veterans Park. What the heck? They didn't do this, right? So as I'm walking up to the fire truck, about that time, the 3 engineers come up. And I'm like, well, that's really strange. So I tell them, you can go back down the road along the river. Just be careful. There's a lot of low-hanging branches on your right side. You will scrape. Easier just to turn around and go back if you can, right? But I'm sitting here thinking, we told you where we were. I know most of these people probably have never been inside this park except for emergencies like this. But here's the problem. The bridge they're at is at Eastburg Park. There's all kinds of handicap parking at Eastburg Park. You can block cars in at Eastburg Park. There's a little parking area, a little playground for kids. Used to be an outhouse that they've had to close, I'm sure because of COVID, or maybe before that, I don't know. I didn't start coming down here till COVID, but instead, they walk back over a quarter of a mile to another parking area. You're in gravel. It's hard rock. When did you guys go to school? When did you guys learn your directions? You know, if I tell you come down the ditch and you're coming down the ditch and it road ends, but there's another side of the park, I don't know. You might want to consider going down that part of the ditch. So this was pretty interesting. You know, like I said, everybody says there's common sense. There's no such thing as common sense. Anybody who says there's common sense is an idiot. It's common stupidity. And it's running rampant, and it's more dangerous than COVID will ever think of being, right? More dangerous than the Spanish flu. You know, I don't know who the gentleman was who was helping the guy who stabbed himself, but shout out, dude. That was awesome. Right? A lot of people have been too scared to help. They'd just kept on walking and called it in. You stayed there, you helped the guy. And that's a man right there. You know, that's a human being helping another human being. The guy who stabbed himself, you know, we can say a lot of things. Most people would probably see it as racist, but it wouldn't be. But sir, I hope you get the help you need. I hope you, whatever help you need, you know, whatever mental health counseling you need, I hope you get it. So, hey, you know, everybody knows that I've had to rely on firefighters and ambulance crews all my life. I was supported by law enforcement most of my life. So, you know, I can't say a whole lot, but I'm just going to say, gosh dang, this was just, on their part, this was bad. This was really, really bad. But hey, hopefully the guy is all right. And like I said, he gets the help he needs. And we carry on for the next day, right? But hey, I got a lot of extra steps. I came here with a little over 3,000 steps, and I'm pretty close to 11,000 right now. So, and for me, it's about not quite 2,500 steps for a mile. So I think I'm doing pretty good there. So y'all have a nice day. And as you can see, and yes, I will be posting. That's by the way, that's from the remediation. But this is, you'll be seeing pictures of deer and a little bit of video from here later on. Later, guys.